everyone. My name is Marlon Bolton, your Vice Mayor and the District 1 City Commissioner, and it's always a pleasure to have another conversation that is unscripted. And today we're going to talk with Kathleen Gunn. Kathleen Gunn is the Assistant City Manager here at the City of Tamarack, and we'll be talking with her, and she'll be sharing just about a little bit about her role here at the City of Tamarack. So, Kathleen, how are you? Welcome.
Well, thank you, Vice Mayor. It's good to be here.
Of course, of course. And as you can see, we are considerably apart from each other. We can't be as close as we'd want to be, given the circumstances. But we thank you so very much for joining us today.
It's a pleasure.
All right, so I've got some questions for you, and so this is not as unscripted as I thought. So let's dive in. So tell us just a little bit more about yourself and your role here at the City of Tamarack.
Yes, okay. I'm Kathleen Gunn. I'm the Assistant City Manager. In that role, I support the City Manager in implementing the policy direction of the Mayor and Commission. I am responsible for day-to-day operations, making sure that all of the things that the residents and businesses and visitors expect from the city gets done: garbage collection, police and fire, water and sewer, all of those things that are important to people we serve.
Right. So as a commissioner, when residents come to us, the first people that we go to is the city manager and the assistant city manager, because we can't necessarily approach staff with that. So for those who are not familiar, will you describe for us what your role is with the city manager's office? I know you kind of went into just a little bit overview of what you do, but just give us a little bit more information as to what you do in the city manager's office.
Sure. So the city manager, in essence, is the CEO, the chief executive officer of the city, and the mayor and commissioner is like the board of a private corporation. So we do everything to make sure that the wishes of the mayor and commission are fulfilled. So the residents and the business owners tell the commission what it is that they want. The city commission, they set the policy, and we actually implement the policy. So we're given the discretion, once we understand the vision of the commission, to implement the programming in, say, parks and recreation, with social services that we provide, police and fire services, emergency response, preparing for hurricanes, anything and everything that the city, that residents and businesses will see. The city manager's office has a hand in directing the specific departments to make sure that that work gets done.
Of course, and you have to be very in sync with the city commission, because then as the residents tell us their vision, what they want to see in the community, then we tell you guys essentially, and now you have to go back and work on it and make sure that it also ties in with the vision of our city. And we are looking at 2040.
Right.
So tell us more about that.
Right, so the city is poised to the future. We have a strategic plan that says it's Tamarack 2040, and we're looking at all the things that are important to the community. We regularly survey the community members to find out what's important. We know that public safety is the #1 concern, and that's something that we are always watching very carefully. One of our biggest goals. We know that Tamarack is a dynamic workplace. We have a workforce that we like to make sure are happy so that they serve everybody better. We want to make sure that Tamarack is a smart and connected city. So moving into the future, we've seen, especially very recently, how reliant we are on technology, and we want to make sure the city is poised to take advantage of those opportunities. And that this is a vibrant place to be. We have an excellent, unparalleled quality of life, and we want to continue to provide that to our residents. And so we often hear directly from people in the community, but also the commission, who has a direct line to the community about those things that they'd like to see, and it's our job to implement them, make sure everything is going well, and if it's not, make those corrections as soon as possible.
Right. I had a conversation with my son, and I told him, I said, you are to live in Tamarack for the rest of your life. And, we had the conversation about, how we are planning for 2040. literally, he will be 25, 26 by the time we've finished all the vision that we're literally talking about now. So it's not about us, it's about the future. So we thank you so very much for making sure that you are on the team that cast our vision, for the residents. So tell us about your role with COVID. How have you navigated through the pandemic? How has the organization and your work shifted during COVID?
Everything has shifted, and then there's a lot of things we have to do no matter what. So the means of delivering the service has shifted to some extent in certain areas, and in other areas it has not. The city has been all open this entire time. We never closed. We're a 24/7 operation. We did close City Hall to the public to maintain the safety of the public and also our employees. We overnight, in essence, had about 40% of our workforce telecommuting, which posed, unique challenges, but it speaks to being well prepared to be a smart city. Every single call that the emergency response team goes on, the EMS, is treated as a potential COVID call because we just don't know what's happening. So that's required us to have additional personal protective equipment for our firefighters and our police officers. Our fire chief is our emergency manager, in essence. He oversees the whole emergency manager operation and has been on daily calls with different levels of government, the county, the state, to make sure that we are in sync with what everybody is doing and doing everything that we can to protect our residents. We have regularly needed to evaluate these executive orders that have come down from the president, from Governor DeSantis, from our county administrator, Bertha Henry, to make sure that our businesses and residents know what's required. Things have changed and evolved over the beginning of this situation in March till today with mask orders and occupancy and all of that. And we want to make sure our residents and businesses know what's going on and that they're in the best position to rise to the challenges of what this has caused for people. There have been a lot of economic implications to our business community and our residents, with losing jobs and all of those things, and we're very sensitive to that. We want to make sure that we get information out that's accurate and timely, and that we can do whatever we can to support businesses, particularly, and residents, in minimizing the hardships that they experience due to this. So I would say the other thing that's really important role, and it's something that has come and everyone has heard a lot about, has been the CARES Act and stimulus funds.
Right.
So the federal government is pumping money into the economies. So the state has gotten money, the county has gotten money, we've gotten some direct allocations, but we're also working to make sure that we are maximizing the amount of aid that we get to offset extra costs that the city has had. We're in the middle of our budget process, as you know. We tentatively set the millage rate, and we'll be deciding on this going forward in the next couple months. But the state has suffered a lot because of the sales tax revenue being off, and so we have in turn, and we're just keeping an eye on legislation to see that perhaps we get some assistance there. So, it's not often, I think, that people know how what the president says impacts the state, impacts the Tamarack, but we are looking at that, and we're making sure that we're here in the best interest of our residents and the businesses.
That's awesome. Thank you so very much for that. And Tamarack, a lot of people, are saying, man, I don't know how we're going to recover. I mean, what does Tamarack look like after this pandemic?
That's a good question.
What's in store for us?
I think that's a $1 million question. And a lot of it's unfolding. We're not out of the woods yet. That's an important thing that we want to continue to alert everybody to, and everyone's hearing this in multiple messages, but to stay safe, to keep your mask on, to stay social distance, to stay home if you don't need to go anywhere. Yeah. So we don't know what the economic fallout is going to be. We do know there are many good things that we've come across from this. additional safety precautions. We have emergency plans, and so we've always executed them. And now we have pandemic responses too. So we're going to be ahead of the curve with safety. I think the lessons that we learned with how important it is to invest in technology and the infrastructure that supports it, we can't underestimate having really literally gone to teleworking overnight and not missing a beat. And we are keeping an eye out with what's going on in the larger business community and the market forces, and to see how they would impact the landscape here in Tamarack. And, you know, trying to put ourselves in the best possible position when things right themselves and even out. But that will take a while. But we are committed and standing at the ready to make sure that we're taking advantage of every possible opportunity that we can.
Right. Well, you've given us a lot of information, and this is good. The residents need to see that we are still working, that we're still working for them, and that even though City Hall is closed to the public, we're still here, and we are working extremely hard for the residents and for the residents' future. There are employees working from home.
Yes.
Because we obviously wanted to make sure that the footprint in City Hall is reduced. And so we thank you so very much for that initiative as well. Well, that's all the time we have. But we thank you so very much for sitting with us. I would shake your hand, but you know how it is, so I'll give you an air shake hand.
There you go.
We thank you so very much, Kathleen, for being with us. Kathleen is the Assistant City Manager here at the City of Tamarack. We love Kathleen, and we wish you all the best in your future endeavors here at the City of Tamarack. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor.
Of course. My name is Marlon Bolton, your Vice Mayor, your District 1 City Commissioner, with another unscripted conversation, I like to call it, although I had a little cheat sheet in my hand today, but we did well. Thank you so very much, and please stay home, please stay safe, and enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.